During the Battle of Ringo Vinda, the Republic forces were rapidly approaching the command center of Admiral Trench when Clone Trooper Tup began behaving strangely. The behaviour is soon noticed by ARC Trooper 5s, but it is too late as Master Tiplar is killed by the malfunctioning Clone Trooper. After they had retreated to understand what had occurred, Clone Medic Kix is unable to detect what had caused Tup to kill Tiplar, and requested Tup to be taken to Kamino. Unfortunately for the Jedi and the clones, Admiral Trench had reported the malfunction of Tup to Count Dooku. The Sith apprentice and his master Darth Sidious agreed that they had to get Tup away from the hands of the Jedi before they could find out about Order 66. Despite the best efforts of 5s, the Sith managed to cover their plans to kill the Jedi, as 5s is shot by fellow Clone Trooper Fox following a failed attempt to kill Palpatine. The Jedi seem to have lost their chance to discover the true intention of the clones, but after the Battle of Anaxes, Kix found out about Order 66 by continuing the research of 5s. Before he could warn the Jedi, Kix was captured by Dooku and placed in a stasis chamber, and the Jedi Order was betrayed by the clones. But what if Kix had managed to tell the Jedi Order about Order 66? How would the Sith act in response? As we are about to find out, all of that is going to be unveiled. Entering the Republic base on Anaxes, Clone Medic Kix ensured Commander Cody was placed in the hands of medical droids, leaving him with time to ponder before his next mission. The one thought that had been gnawing at him was the Ringo Vinda virus that had allegedly caused Tup to kill Tiplar, and it was time to discover what 5s had learnt. Entering an ARC 170 starfighter, Kix flew to the planet of Kamino, where Tup had succumbed to the virus. Due to his status as a medic, Kix's path through is a lot simpler than 5's, but he cannot find any evidence of the ARC Trooper's work. Eventually, Kix enters a medical bay and turns to the calling of his name. The medical droid AZI-3, who 5's had used to extract Tup's chip, glided towards Kix, and the clone medic told it to tell him what it knew. Whilst AZI-3 did not know about Order 66, it knew enough to tell Kix that the inhibitor chip was the root of the problem. The droid then removed Kix's chip, and after comparing it with the data obtained from Tup's, Kix determined that Tup's behaviour was not the result of a virus native to Ringo Vinda. This meant the clones could be programmed to kill the Jedi. Without the authority to change the programming, Kix had to tell the Jedi. However, whilst pondering about which Jedi to go to first, the alarms in the complex blared around them. Kix's actions had been detected, and he needed to escape. AZI-3 guided him out of the medical bay, but clones were swarming around them. Using his blaster rifle, Kix stunned a member of the Kamino security force, then disguised himself to discreetly head out. To his relief, his ship was still intact, and he flew away from the chaos below. Flying back to Coruscant and aiming for the Jedi Temple, Kix failed to notice a singular droid tri-fighter lurking behind him, and a well-aimed shot sent Kix flying into the depths of Coruscant's underworld. As he woke up, Kix found himself in unfamiliar surroundings, but soon he saw someone who was familiar in Ahsoka Tano. The former Jedi Padawan had seen Kix and his starfighter crashing down, and had used the Force to cushion his fall to the platform outside the workshop of the Martez sisters. As Kix sat up from his makeshift bed, the clone sought Ahsoka, and as she approached him, Kix told her all he had discovered about the inhibitor chips. Ahsoka struggles to digest the overload of information and the potential danger that Anakin and the Jedi Order could be in. It seemed that Barriss had been right about the Jedi and the Republic. Just then, the Martez sisters see Ahsoka talking to Kix, and they knew then that everything was not as it seemed. Ahsoka reveals to them about her Jedi past, and that now they were in grave danger. As much as the sisters had appreciated the help of Ahsoka, her destiny lay with the Force, and the Force told her to act on Kix's words. Ahsoka and Kix scaled their way up, fearful of taking any kind of transport due to the threat on the life of Kix. The duo entered the temple, allowed in by Terra Sunube and a couple of temple guards, and Ahsoka knocked on Grandmaster Yoda's door. Yoda had sensed her presence and had been expecting her arrival, but he was surprised to see the clone. Kix reveals to Yoda what he had told Ahsoka, and the Grandmaster is gravely concerned. The Sith had the fate of the Jedi in their hands, unless they could do something about it. Yoda was wary of their communication being intercepted, and flew to Fort Anaxes with Ahsoka and Kix. before it was too late, it was time to undo some of the work of the Sith. That is it for part 1 of What If Kix told the Jedi about Order 66. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, subscribe to this channel and my other channel What If Films for more what ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.